Okay, welcome back to OCD Hi-Fi Guy. Look at that, baby. We've got the room flipped. And the rig, finally, my baby is back together. Those are my Franken pans, because I pulled them apart very soon. That's the next project is, the next thing will be to finish those puppies off. I'm going to do them to match the subs over here. We'll put a baffle around it, and we're going to make it shorter. Don't need that crossover. So we'll drop it down a little bit. You know, they don't really have much up and down dispersion. So we're cool, like as far as that goes. I better turn this down because we're here on the Rockna. I'm gonna turn this down because I'll bet YouTube has a way of hearing the music you're playing. And oh yeah, by the way, that's new right there. The Wave, that's the Rockna server. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little fun listening to that puppy, and then I'll go ahead and build one because I build servers, and I'm gonna see how close mine gets. It'll probably kick my ass because Nuku's knows what he's doing and I don't. But we'll see. Anyways, okay, so where was I? Okay, so I was talking about the baffles. That'll be next. And then we're going to do room treatment. Boy, it sounds really good in here. I wonder what it's going to do. Now, check this out. A client gave me some of these the other day because he wasn't going to use them. Their diffusers are, they're diffusers, QRD type. So they're really heavy, and they scatter the wave instead of absorb them like these things do. So it's a different technique, but it's really interesting how it works. They're super effective. I mean, we move that thing back and forth from like this side of the door over to that side of the door, and you could hear, it's just like it adds a space back there. It opens it up or something. It gives it more, instead of it disappearing, or some of the, sound getting eaten up, it kind of just comes back out. I guess that's why they call it diffuser. Anyway, so here's the rack. I built that from scratch. That thing is beautiful, made out of strut, T-slot strut, an industrial type strut, and then just had some plywood shelves made. And then those are, those are the Roland amps are sitting on, okay, so those are maple platforms that are for these Western Electric clone amps. Those puppies are, that's what that's fitted for. I'm going to make some that are perfect size for the Rolands, and they'll sit right under there and match better in terms of size. We got this. Oh, this is the neck. This won't be for a while, but that's going to be a fun project. Okay, we've got the Studer Master Tape Recorder, and then this is a King Cello tape head pre. Okay, so in other words, once you're into tapes, you get your heads redone. Okay, I have flux magnetic heads put on here, brand new, and then this is for the preamp. So instead of using the onboard Studer electronics where that 1 and 2 are, you use this thing, which is uses a PC board from Cello. And if you know the Cello, that was Mark Levinson's. That was the heyday of hi-fi. Some people consider Cello to be the pinnacle of hi-fi. It was really something else. So anyways, that's what there's a board in there from the phono stage. We've got another rack over here. I'm going to get these out of here, figure out where they're going to go. But there's another rack where we'll put our some more backup gear. There's Ryan's speakers, or actually they belong to Michael, but Ryan Scott built those. Those are Vapor Audio Jewels, essentially. They're custom. Okay. Those are not jewel tweeters. These are special tweeters. They're very unique. They're for sale anyway. A local client is selling these at a really good price. And if you know anything about Vapor, if you find these things for sale sitting somewhere in inventory, like on hand, you want to jump on it, because the guy who makes them is very meticulous about making these, and he takes his good time to make sure that they're made well. And so if you're in a rush and you want something now, forget about it. It's rare to find these things. Anyways, and then we got that's the home theater rig. Look at the mess. Anyways, it's a home theater rig back there with this thing. Okay, we probably never, I don't know if we're even going to use that thing, man, but the in-walls are all cool, man. These things are really cool. These are BG Radia in-walls that are, these are ribbons as well, or AMT type. So pretty killer in walls, but I don't, home theater, whatever. This is really what it's all about. So we're going to replace this too. Okay, so here's the crossover. What we've got here, and I'll tell you why I'm going to replace it. Okay, first of all, it's a two-way, and I need a three-way. Okay, and second of all, if you look in here, you see those op-amp chips, those little things with little legs? There's like 4 of them there, 4 of them over there. Okay, well, some say that op-amps have glare to them. So in the higher-end designs, that's discrete, and they're made with transistors. These are cool little boards that, you solder them up for, see, I wrote on there the frequency and the slope. So I make those, and this is from Phil Marchand of Marchand Electronics. Here you can see the name, Marchand Electronics. This stuff is probably the best bang for the buck. It's definitely the best bang for the buck in terms of crossovers. He is really good at crossovers. That's all. Well, he makes other things too, but he is crossover man. And he has offered to make me one of these in a three-way with 100% like complete discrete buffers. So he will, instead of having those little chips right there, he will actually make an op amp out of, resistors and capacitors and have my own, and it'll be fully balanced. This one's not. He'll make it in differential. That means instead of 2 per, for right and left, like these are right and left high, right and left low, there'll be 4 of them because it'll be truly differential, which will match the Roland amps, and the DAC is also a fully differential. So that means balance. That's real balance. Real balance goes across the circuit. It's not just the plug at the back like a lot of components. So so that's that. Okay, so anyways, there's a Denafrips Terminator. We got it back. Okay, so this thing is back. We're going to spend some time listening to that puppy too. This thing is really supposed to be the cat's meow. I've heard it. I spent very little time with it when it was here at first, and I was impressed with it, but I just didn't get enough time. I had to give it up to some reviewer, and it was crazy. So, and then this thing is this thing is the CD transport. This is the same importer that imports this, or exporter, I should say, because I'm the importer. This is a Jay's Audio transport. It uses a Philips CD Pro mechanism. This thing is about 50 pounds. It's got I2S out, word clock. It's pretty cool, but I don't even know why anybody wants CD transport, but if you do, you can get a really killer one for a fraction of what it would cost if it were Japanese or European. Metrum Acoustics from Netherlands. Great piece. Like it a lot. This is on the musical side of things, so I tend to like something that is more etched, such as the Rockna. The Rockna, though, is the extreme, so I think Denafrips or Cause Engineering, this one right here on the, look, Jeff Rowland's stepping on him, but that Cause stands on its own, man. It really, it stands on its own. That is an incredible DAC. This piece on the bottom here, that is really a special DAC. That is Sigma Delta. Everything else I've told you about is R2R. This thing is Sigma Delta, and it's absolutely the best Sigma Delta I've heard. Full analog section on it that's passed through. You can get those things here as well. I'm the importer for those. And I just, when there's products I like, if they don't have representation, I just offer to be like, here for them and to answer, be like a spot where if something needs a repair, this is, I can take care of them and so forth. Let me finish. So Cause Engineering, D1, check it out. It's really cool. This is a well-kept secret. I'm letting you guys in on it. Okay, Coda amplifiers. This guy used to work with Nelson Pass, and this company stems from Pass Labs. It used to be Threshold, and now it's Coda. It's been Coda for a while. So these are legacy amp designs that have like some of the latest technology in terms of parts, but generally they haven't been that greatly changed because they're so good to begin with. They were just incredible. They have automatic adaptive bias, this thing that biases that it'll stay in class A much higher than normal if you want it to. There's a way to set each one. And this is a class A 50 watt per channel and it's like a I mean, it's kind of compact for 50 watts of Class A, but boy, does this thing have some current, man. I mean, this will push almost any speaker. Here's a lampizator. Okay, this I'm selling for a client. These are cool DACs. These used to be my favorite DACs. And then I had a change of heart after listening to some other things. But these are the only DACs that have single-ended triode power tubes like those you see back there, 300Bs, in the output stage. It's so cool because you can roll these and put 300Bs, 101s, 2A3s. There's a switch on back, and you can go crazy rolling tubes and completely change the sound of your DAC. Like totally change it up. This is a really fun DAC. It sounds phenomenal. But I think I would have to say this is better for jazz and classical and things like that. Whereas I'm kind of a rocker, so I like a little more crunch and slam and dynamic and like control the woofer and stuff. And, this is definitely fluid and liquid and gorgeous and seductive. So that's what it has going for it. But, I kind of need a little of a punch or a kick or whatever, SOTM from Korea. Okay, so these are little, this is a USB, I call it USB decrappifier. It just cleans, it's a USB filter. So on the USB, on the way out of the server, on the way to the DAC, it stops in there, and that's a power supply below it, and it cleans the USB. Now, I've also got one over here from AudioBite, which is the Rockna guys. Okay, so this is Nuku's deal. This is also power supply below, and then this is actually not a USB decrappifier. This is a USB converter. So this will take your USB and convert it to I2S, convert it to SPDIF, convert it to some, anything but USB. So there's no USB out on this thing. And then over here we've got the little mighty Exogal Comet. Okay, and then its power supply behind. This is a Comet Plus. This is a killer little DAC. I would say easily my favorite compact DAC. This is the Wadia guys. These guys know digital, man. That's a computer. Make no mistake. When you open that thing up, it's a computer through and through. This thing is the science professor of the DACs. And it's really compact and it's cool and you can just tote it around. And if you need to move it, no problem. So that's a really cool piece. And then I didn't tell you about these. I might as well. Okay, so these are Western. I'm missing that too. I got it over in my office. Okay, these are Western Electric 91A clones. So this is an amp that is built on a circuit from like the 1940s or whatever, and there's some added updates with just newer technology and stuff, but you can see I put the foils there, silver foils on those driver tubes. These are 300Bs. These are actually 300B XLS by Emission Labs. These things are like, well, they're 300Bs on steroids. You can put more voltage to them and get more out of them, and they have slam and crunch, and they're just wow. They have a lot of dynamic compared to a standard 300B. And then what do we have back there? Oh yeah, those are 5U4Gs made also by the same company. And Emission Labs. So these are handmade. Monoblocks are handmade by a company called Tube Audio Lab, and he is in California. And the guy is he's a geneticist. He's a what is it called? Epigeneticist. Smart cat. Okay. He works he's a professor and stuff. And in his free time, he makes these amps. Now check this out. These things are so good sounding. The cost for these is like $3,500 a pair. It's unbelievably cheap for what you get. This is a classic audio design. These are really cool. This is like, to me, it's like an old chopper. Like I've got an old Harley Panhead or something right here. That's exactly what these are. And they sound really good. They're I guess by all, reality, they're noisy. You know what I mean? They've got noise and they've got distortion and they've got harmonic and they've got all that stuff, but it's what makes it so wonderful. These are so pleasing to listen to and so seductive. They totally draw you in. So those are a lot of fun. And then over here, let's not forget credit to, this is also South Korea. These are Stello pieces put together by a guy named Simon Lee out of South Korea, who is a great friend and associate from way back. And Simon really has a good ear. He knows how to build product. They're very sensible and very well built. So both of these is differential. So this is a preamp and a DAC. Even though the DAC has a volume control on it, this is the matching preamp. So it's kind of a double volume thing, but that's so that you can have the DAC and not need the preamp. But you put that preamp in, and boy, you just got a lot more oomph under your seat with the Sonic. So these are, again, the dual differential all the way through, completely discrete. Now, if I open this preamp and look inside, like I told you down here with those chips that are in there, over there, he's done the discretes. So they're completely discrete through and through. Really an excellent design. They sound phenomenal. And Simon is a smart cat. Now he has got a company. He sold the Stello brand, and so his company is called Simon Audio Lab, and that is coming up. It's in its growth phase right now, but you can probably still find something online. Simon Audio Lab, really smart products, and at a good value. And then we all know Jeff Rowland. Okay, so I got some, I used to be a staunch tube guy, and then I went solid state because I just owe it to my clients or my customers, man. I'm making cables and design and stuff, and it's got to be accuracy. I can't have noise and harmonic and all that kind of stuff that colors the sound. While there's nothing wrong with that, okay, for having fun and listening and enjoyment, if you need to be accurate for some reason, like you're mastering or you're recording or you're doing something that, designing like I do and listening and reviewing things and making comment, well, then you better have accuracy, because otherwise you're listening to the colorful sound that these paint, and then it's not accurate. So you can't comment. Oh, there's in that corner. Okay, well, that thing down in the corner. Let's look away. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Okay, so this thing, phenomenal design. Okay, really great sounding stuff. I cannot say so much for the company. They won't talk to you. I don't know if it's because they don't speak English or because they just don't like Americans. I have no idea, man. But Nat Audio, okay? So this is out of Serbia. And this thing, I swear to God, if you looked inside this thing, it's like a rocket scientist made a preamp, okay? So while there's the very simple type design where the people are purist and simple, this thing is the absolute opposite. It's the overkill design. It's the over-designed stuff. There's like 100 relays on the back for the volume control, which is, you just look in this thing, it's got 12 tubes, rectifier, voltage regulator tubes, all this crap. It sounds full, okay? So it's got a lot of bass. It's got a lot of this has a lot of color too. But it kind of looks like a guy, like, look at those two eyes. His knobs look like eyes, and I got a flat mouth, robot or whatever the hell. Anyways, so that thing's cool, but it's for play. A hell of a preamp, though. The cool thing, I love preamps where they have like tape loop and stuff, because I get to use it eventually. Okay, so there's the story of the rig. I think we've gone through pretty much everything. Do I have anything else interesting? I do have something interesting in that box right back there. See it on the right. That's Canary Audio, M80 monoblocks. So those will be coming out shortly, and we can listen. And then there's another Frips over there, a Termi, and another Metrum Adagio. Oh yeah, a Kiko. I want to vet that thing out. Okay, so this is a little, one of those grounding. It's a noise eliminator, right? You plug it into the wall, and it pulls out the high frequency noise, and it's supposed to make everything sound better. But I don't really. I've done such a good job at grounding in this room that I really want to see if how it works or if it helps. I'm going to do the same thing with Jack Bybee's. Some of his those new Q whatever the hell they are, those little puppies, that I'm going to put some in the junction box inside the switch panel, because he told me to do that, and we'll see if it does. I'm really leery about tweaks just because they're in a weird area of stuff. They manipulate the sound, meaning they change it. I don't know if it's better or not. Yeah, I can hear it change. Of course I can hear it change. But what did it do? Did it shrink the sound stage? Did it, make it weird and unrealistically, pretty? Or like, I don't know. So anyways. Okay, so here we go. We've got a good starting point now with the new room to really start dialing down some of these reviews and listening to things and doing shootouts. It's a much better environment now. We will employ ASC, which is a company, Acoustic Sciences Corporation out of California. And Art over there is going to help us measure this room and go through it. And just, I've got all the software and everything to do it, but I'd rather have an acoustician, take me through it rather than try and figure it myself. So anyway, so that's that. Okay, so just wanted to check in. I know it's been a little while. I've been incredibly busy, but now finally this room is up. So when this room is inactive, I don't find myself magnetized over to it. But when it's set up like this, man, you can't help but come in here. You got to hear how everything sounds. It sounds phenomenal. Okay, another thing to note that's kind of interesting. I've noted that with the audio rigs, okay, as they get better and better, they say, okay, well, hey, you get to a point where you can really tell, boy, you hear a bad recording, all right, and you better have a good recording, and good recordings sound really good, and bad recordings sound really bad. Well, you know what? I don't like that. Okay, it sucks because that means a whole bunch of my collection sucks if that's the case. This rig will make shitty recordings sound good. Now, it's not making them sound good, but what it's doing is it's extracting more musical information that where there isn't much to begin with. It's just, I'll play some songs. We'll do some things later where I'll play some old songs that are off albums that are notoriously bad. One comes to mind is like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, on Deja Vu, or not Deja. Anyways, I can't remember the name of the album. One of the first albums, but anyways, so we'll do that, and I can show you how it sounds phenomenal. So it's great. I think what happens is you get to a point where you hear the good, you hear the bad on your way up the scale of hi-fi, and then you bypass it. You actually bypass it, and the stuff above that makes everything sound good. And those are like when you're nearing the world-class level with your rig. This is definitely close. I know those Magnum pans are ugly, but they're taken apart. Trust me, they will be gorgeous by the time I'm done with them. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. We're back on the scene, OCD Hi-Fi Guy, and have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.